body bags where horror lies.
Hello and welcome to Body Bags. My name is James and I'm your Sunday night reviewer. And this evening I wanted to bring you a movie that's actually released by Scream Factory. But I streamed it off Tubi through their Shout Factory channel that they have on there. And I think it's 1992, The Vagrant with the late great Bill Paxton. I remember I've seen the cover of this. It's the original cover that Scream Factory went with, and I just thought it looks very Home Alone kind of thing. Like, it's kind of pulling this like shock face on the cover. And you kind of get these range of Home Alone faces throughout the movie. Actually, it's kind of like an adult Home Alone almost, kind of, this movie. But we follow Bill Paxton, and he's looking to get on a property ladder. He doesn't have so much money. He's something like a data analyst or something like that, but he's doing well at his job, and he's kind of in line for promotion. He's very kind of straight-laced level kind of guy. He's got a girlfriend that's kind of out of town, I'll say. She lives somewhere else, different city. And so he finds his house. It's a bit of a worker-upper. Looks a bit of a mess, but he's okay. Like, he's gonna kind of set it all up. But when he's like moving there, there's this homeless person in there. Just like, fuck, like when he's moving in, and he's like just in the kitchen, he's like washing his hands or something in the sink, and then it kind of goes off. So what the hell was all that about? Later, he's got his friend coming around, and they're installing like new locks on the doors and stuff like that. But he keeps seeing this vagrant, and it's obviously like made up to look really horrible. I recognise the face and I know the actor, but I can't think of the name right now. But he's kind of like huge hair, like blind in one eye. It's like all messed up, weird. All his fingers are like kind of like quite strange and stuff like that, and it's just kind of like, like over the top as you'd expect for this time. It's like, it's like how, but it's kind of, it goes with the humor of this movie, because it's kind of like, it's not scary, but you know what I mean. It's like a horror movie, and it's like this demon vagrant, we can call him, is harassing and trying to get in all the time, and it's kind of like, but it's kind of punctuated with these dark moments of humor, and it kind of balances really nicely. But as you can imagine, it's starting to get, he's freaking out because he's like almost living across the street from him. It's kind of strange area. It's kind of close to his work, close to the city, but it's a bit dilapidated, the area. So it's kind of not the best. So he's kind of living across the road. He's like got fires going, cooking. No idea, stuff he finds. But he's kind of starting to fixate on this vagrant. He's starting to like have nightmares about it, and he's sleepwalking, and stuff is starting to go. Weird things are starting to happen in the house. It's like he must be like super stressed out. But anyway, his girlfriend comes to visit and stuff like that, and then he's like thinks he's hallucinating, because one day he comes back from work and he sees the vagrant there, and he's like, what's going on? And he goes up to her. She's in the shower, and she's like, I just invited him in. He's just someone that's hungry and wants some food, and he's obviously flipping out and stuff like that. And so because all this stuff before was going on, he set up this like huge security system. Like, he's got a second mortgage already, and he's got these huge fences all around. He's got all these spotlights on the house, like extra security, huge alarms and stuff like that. So it's freaking him out, this vagrant. And then he suddenly comes home and finds him sat there, like, at his table eating a sandwich. But like more and more starts to go wrong, and like he's like, oh, I'm losing my mind. I'm fixating on this vagrant, but it's me. I'm just going crazy. But seriously, like it's just crazy stuff. The house is looking like an absolute shit tip, like at one point. And he wakes up the one morning. He's like really late for work. the clock wasn't working, so the alarm didn't go off, and he can smell this weird smell. So he goes down into the basement. Okay, you'll see where I'm going with this. So at one point, like this neighbor, she dies. Like she's found in like a dumpster or something like that. So she was killed. She's like, yeah, it's like had fingers severed and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, that's a horrible thing to hear. Anyway, you can see where I'm going with this. So he's trying to track this bad smell. He goes into the basement. He sees this dead rat and he's like sniffing it. It's like, it's not that. So drops it in a jar and sees this box of chocolates. So he opens it up and there's all these fingers in there. Obviously freaks out and knocks some stuff over. And then he sees the vagrant is in there. And there's like this kind of like trapdoor sort of thing that he leaves. And he's like, fuck, I wasn't nuts. It's been the vagrant the whole time. He's like telling the police. Obviously the police have been coming and going. He's always phoning them. So he knows, they know him. They know he's a bit nuts. But they get this like, this is detective, like Michael Ironside comes into it. And he's like kind of investigating the murder, and he thinks that he's a suspect, especially when he's like, oh, I found these fingers, and like, right, you have the fingers? Yeah, so it's going more and more wrong. And then, oh, what is it? Does he want to sell the house or something? I can't remember, but the estate agent comes around who's sold him the house. She's like this very promiscuous woman who's like very much wants to have sex with him, so they end up having sex because his girlfriend can't handle how he's been at the moment because he's going all crazy. He's like, yeah, whatever, starts having sex with this woman, and then she basically disappears, but then she turns up in the same dumpster, dead. We can guess it's the vagrant, but the police are guessing that it's Bill Paxton. So anyway, goes to court and stuff like that, gets arrested, and is like standing trial, and his mum is there, and she basically has a heart attack and dies, and that it sways the kind of the jury. They're like, oh, poor guy, so they kind of let him off, for it clearly looks like he did the murder. But yeah, he gets off, and then he just leaves his house, buys a shit clapped out car, and goes to live in like a trailer park miles and miles away. But the vagrant follows him, and death follows him, and murders follow him, and the police follow him, and stuff like that. And it's yeah, it kind of comes to this the crescendo at the end of it all. It's like you find out that this vagrant is like a disgraced scientist, and it's all been Bill Paxton has been a guinea pig for this social experiment of his. The scientist guy is obviously the vagrant. He's just tapped in the head, and he's basically making he's making Bill Paxton kind of go crazy. And so yeah, they have this kind of big, like I said, this fallout at the end of the movie with the police, with the vagrant, with him, and in these caverns kind of by this trailer park. And yeah, that's kind of the movie. It's really, really enjoyable. Like it's kind of like a Home Alone for adults, kind of, almost. It kind of feels like that. He's the grown-up Kevin sort of thing. But yeah, this is really enjoyable. I can't remember the vagrant's name. He's a recognisable character when you see him, a character actor kind of thing. Of course, you've got Bill Paxton and Michael Ironside, so you know you've got some like quality acting in this, and it's an all-round funny movie. It's like dark humour, but it balances the humour. It's not horror comedy. It's a dark, like, horror thriller sort of thing, kind of suspense, you call it, all these things. It's very cheesy, but very kind of cool, put together movie, like I said, with this really nice layer of dark humour on the top of it. I need to pick up the Scream Factory, definitely. I'll try and track it down at some point. But anyway, that's the end of the review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.